Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Fans of Power podcast. I am Nathan Kennedy, here with Tyler Baker, Joe Amato. He's there. He is. He's floating around. He's back now. But welcome, guys, and welcome to the podcast that is all encompassing of He-Man and Master Universe and She-Ra 2 and all the mythology and the mini comics and the Filmation series and NYP and action figures and
No new adventure, love?
You want to get your
new adventures. Whatever. Go ahead, Tyler.
I was going to say, if you're looking for ankle articulation pain apps, this is not the podcast for you people here.
I mean, I do want to talk about some pain apps here at the beginning.
I did.
Let's get into that.
That was my main quick thing I want to get out of the way that pissed me off. Which first, let me say hello to everybody in the chat room. I'm going to try to run them down. If I miss somebody, Nathan, you're always there to get my back. So
no, I'm not.
Zentron,
you're on your own.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah, because somebody's going to get pissed like, Joe, you forgot me. But Zentron, Brian Little, Delvis78. Getting down a little bit. Hold on one second. Because, boy, they were having a conversation for like an hour before we even started. Good God almighty. I'm still going down. Good Jesus. They were talking the whole time. I know I'm going to probably miss someone, but I'm almost down. Okay, Motu fan number 1. All right, this must have been when some other people started popping up. I'm going to miss somebody. I'm sorry. Tags Media Animation. Oh, God. Here, I'm sorry. And titles like Jesus. Okay, and JSP, Captain Chronic, Grim 2. I don't know. Grim 2, and there. I think I got everybody. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry. But, no, I did want to say one thing. Now, when Super 7 showed that, their film. Tyler's like, Tyler knows what I'm going to do, but I can't help it. It's not being mean, but, okay.
Just Joe, be mean.
We're not here to be PC here.
Be mean.
Say what you got to say.
You need to be mean because I pre-ordered the movie figures this week, and now honestly, I'm kind of worried about what the hell they're going to look like when they come in the mail.
I'll get to that too, but first I want to talk about when they showed the Filmation He-Man that came with all those multiple heads. The laughing head, the regular head, the whatever the hell else other head, I don't know. But then the one that was supposed to be Faker's head with the glowing eyes. Now, of course, when you looked at that photo that they showed, you knew it was photoshopped. You knew that wasn't really going to be what it looked like, but you'd expect it would have looked similar. I had 9 people. I showed one. I've had 9 people send me photos of their Filmation head. It looks absolutely not even close to what they was supposed to get. Now, again, I knew it wasn't going to glow, but you could have the paint design like that. It literally, Tyler and Nathan, looked like they just took like a little mask and did an overspray and went spray with white. And randomly there's blotches here. It just looks like He-Man just like shoved his head into like, a thing of cocaine or something. It was just covered all over.
Cocaine He-Man.
Really, it's just all over his face. And somebody said, like, looked like the Great Muta, sprayed him in the eyes with white. That's a shame. I mean, it's like that wasn't even any effort. I mean, if something, at least made his pupils white and that's it. But if you were going for the glowing effect of the eyes, I've seen so many people that were so pissed. And I had to mention it because they were like, Joe, you going to bring it up? And I was like, yeah, it's like not to rag on it, but just to say that was a piss poor effort on that Faker head to not even look close. I don't know if you guys seen either of those pictures either, but oh, what a shame. It shouldn't look like that. It shouldn't have looked that bad, but I didn't know if you've seen them, either of you.
Yeah, it looked bad. Money shot He-Man.
Yeah, what about a shitty variant that I'm sure you fans just couldn't wait to fork over your cash for? I saw it too, and at first I'm like, what the hell is that? And then and then Nathan told me that there was an issue, and I went back and looked at it again, like, God, people paid money for this?
Well, it's not just that either. It's with the laughing head. The teeth weren't even painted on one of them. Yeah, it's like, yikes.
Yeah, one of the poor guys, exactly. One of the poor guys didn't have the teeth painted, but everybody that was sending that showed the same thing. Now, there was a couple people that said, Joe, mine looked fine. And I said, could you show me? I wasn't saying, like, show me to be a smartass. I sincerely wanted to see it to see how many looked good. None of them that said theirs looked fine never showed me the picture. So I'm still waiting to see one. Am I saying there's not? No, but I would like to see one where it looked decent, because to have 9 people send it to me, and I did random eBay searches. Every one of them on eBay looked like that too. Every seller that had it on eBay, and it's not like a stock photo that you could tell this is them taking pictures of theirs. It's a shame. It's unfortunate, which then led, and this is why I'm bringing this up. I'm saying this in case there are people that are, connected with Super 7, have connections, and maybe could pass something along to Brian Flynn or anybody that works on it. But the movie figures. they showed that now they're for pre-order, and you can pre-order them up till, I believe, March 29th.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's $140 for
155 total, I think, with shipping and everything.
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
Okay.
that's not, yeah.
All right, thank you for that, T-Rex, because I wasn't sure about the shipping price. And which, like I said, super excited about them. Until that promotional picture that they showed advertising them popped up in groups, and now what they're saying in groups, they said these are looking different. They said, why do they look different? Now, Brian Flynn assured everybody, said, no, the pictures that were taken, that they posted up, whoever did it must have had bad lighting. Well, here's the thing. They're not Joe Amato. I take shitty photos. I'm the one that doesn't have good equipment. I have cheap old technology.
I was going to say, speaking of which, when you talk, there's like just a blank screen. And when I see it here, it shows like your icon. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, my camera, so that's okay. Half the time people don't need to see me when I talk anyways. But you're right. I don't know what's going on. I'll kind of move it back, see if that works. But my technology is bad, as case in point with what we're talking about with the show right now, not even showing up. But if you're going to take pictures advertising something that you want people to buy, please take better photos. Because I'm even confused looking at God Skeletor. His head looks bigger in one of the photos. It looks like it's out of proportion. He-Man's head looks too small. Something looks off. So I am sincerely saying, please, if you're listening, anybody that knows Super 7, and if they're listening, take another set of proper photos and use that to promote them. Because I've seen so many people in these groups saying, I don't want to order them now. And that's scary because this is something I've waited for years.
Yeah.
But like you said, Nathan, you're even concerned. And we shouldn't have to be concerned like that. But damn it, if that's what they look like, they're going to lose a lot of business. But your guys' thoughts?
Please don't fuck this up. I'm paying you $155. That is my plea. Don't mess this up. I don't want weird paint apps or laziness or pieces coming apart. Shouldn't be that way. I don't know who needs to get a foot in their ass about it, but it's not just isolated incidents. There's no excuse for that. Like I think Joe had commented, why didn't they just do like a see-through head and just like paint it and leave the eyes? That would have had a better effect on that He-Man, probably. I don't understand it. But when you are taking something over like that, you need to continue the quality that's been set before. And if I don't know if this turns out poorly and they backtrack on that and they're like, no, this is what this is, and then they ship out and it turns out that it's what it was before and they were lying about it the whole time. Oh man, I can't even imagine what people are gonna do. Like that's just gonna affect them as a business. And it sucks, especially for you guys. Like, because I'm not the person that's like, yes, I'm buying everything that they put out every wave, and there are a lot of people out here that do that. And to just time after time after time, here's something wrong with this, or this is broken, or this paint app doesn't even exist on this figure. There's no excuse for that, and that's just lazy. It's really, really lazy.
And I figured, Tyler, if anybody, I know this would be disheartening, especially his passion and love for that movie. If those figures came out anything but what we've seen at the toy fair, how great they looked, that'd be super disheartening. But go ahead, Tyler.
I want to say, I mean, look, to their credit, though, and even though it's a pain in the ass to go through it, and I'm thankfully, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to that stuff. If I get something shit in the mail, it's kind of hard for me to want to go through the process of repackaging it, making sure I get it sent back and talking to somebody, hey, you sent me the roll, whatever the case may be. Just because I'm like that. I was fine with the Triclops mishap. I didn't give a shit about turning it to his visor and all that stuff. I didn't care. I know a lot of people did. I didn't. But I've seen pictures pop up and I didn't really catch much of a difference. But I will say this in terms of the Faker fiasco and this, they get messages, and I know I give Brian credit when he's interviewed, and he makes fun of a lot of the irrationalization that comes from fans, that people are, as a caricature, people threaten to, I'll never do it again. This is the end for me. I'll never buy another. Just over, minor shit that before they even get the final figure, they look at the prototype. Oh my God, they're doomed to this. Just relax, say your piece, but be cool about it, because I think it's cool that Brian will make fun of people for acting like a bunch of assholes, because a lot of fans clearly can be assholes about this stuff. Matty Collector dealt with it, and there's assholes with every fan base. But I'm saying they clearly do listen to this stuff. So what I'm saying is, yes, if this is a problem, everyone, you just be cool about it, but let them know quickly about it. But don't say a lot of irrational nonsense and say you'll stop buying the toys, or I wish Matty Collector was doing, or something like that. Just be cool about it and vent your concerns and everything. And yes, if they're taking bad pictures, that's not a good way of advertising to buy these toys that you're asking a lot of money for in full, not in payments.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a fan of that either. Otherwise, I'd have bought them right now. I got to wait till the next paycheck so I can pay for that and Conan.
Well, in my head, I'm thinking, because I had never done it before from them, but before other places, I put in a pre-order and I don't get charged for it until it ships. It's like, boom, we got your money. I'm like, oh, okay.
And they didn't. I don't know why. I don't know, because Joe listens to the toy stuff more than I do. All I look at is the pictures when they're coming, and that's it. So if Brian and people at Super 7 decide we're no longer doing payment plans anymore, because that's why I didn't buy the last 2 waves of classics, because I'm like, I'm not going to pay that much all at once in full for variants, even though they look great. I'm just not doing it. And, I don't like doing this but it's the movie figures, and that takes a high priority for me. I'm going to do it because I must have them, but I don't know why they're doing that. I don't like that. They did it with the Hero and Eldor figures too, even though it wasn't as much, but still. So hopefully with all these things happening, and I'd like to think that they're aware that there's a very high demand for these 4 figures, that they're going to make sure. And I'm sure, too, Brian can't look at every figure that leaves the warehouse or the factory when they're packaged, and misses a lot of the assembling mishaps of paint apps and joints falling apart and stuff like that. That's an unfortunate thing. It's not Brian's fault, nor the people in charge of Super 7. It's the factory's fault, but people point the finger at them. I know that, but I'm gonna still go through with it and give them my money when I get my next paycheck. That goes without saying. I just would encourage people not to go into panic mode over a picture. If the figures we saw on display at Toy Fair look great, that's what you're getting. I would think that's what you're getting, not a bad picture. So,
but hasn't that sort of not been the case though, where like they show pictures at a toy fair, or like here's the release stuff, and then by the time it comes out, it just doesn't look like that though? I have an idea. I have a proposition though. If things start coming out without missing paint apps and don't look correct or whatever, send them to Joe, and Joe will fix them for you, and he'll send them back. That's what we should do, honestly.
Yeah, I have some people already sending me their faker heads.
All right.
No, I mean, I do. I already had that, and I don't like having the kind of business off of something like that. But no, it's like Tyler said, and like I was saying earlier, when I kept that constructive, how I said that. I didn't chew or, disrespect anybody. I'm just saying the concerns of what some fans say. Because like you said, some fans might go absolutely insane and take it to a whole crazy level. But then there's the constructive fans. And you would hope that the people that are trying to be constructive don't get ignored, because the fans that are maybe going insane are being listened to the most, and they're putting us all in the same category. Like even my constructive stuff, like, oh, Jesus, Joe, why would you say that about the faker? Why would you say it about all the movie figures? But when I'm seeing it in all the groups, that is a concern. It scares me, because I've been wanting these movie figures forever too, and I'm hoping they look good, but also I want to see more pre-orders. If I'm seeing fans saying I'm not pre-ordering because they don't look like I seen over there at Toy Fair, then it's a concern. There's a lot of pre-orders that's not
quick to jump the gun. If what we saw at Toy Fair is what we're going to get, but they see a picture as if like they went after Toy Fair, we altered the figures, took a picture of it, and put it up there.
That's the power of the internet, sir.
I just feel like why is it not just He-Man fans, all fans in general who collect toys, for that, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about action figures here. I mean, why is everyone so quick to, they're ready to start launching some damn nukes without getting answers and just
Because Tyler, everybody's important, and their demands need to be met. They are the only people on this planet whose opinions matter. That's the world.
Well, I think it's the
Yeah.
case
World.
of
I
what's
hope people
happened
who
with.
listen to this podcast, and you're one of those people who likes to go in various places and talk about how your own personal damn needs are above anybody else's, and that if you do not get this left ankle fixed, you will quit collecting the line because you're the only one that matters, you son of a bitch. You know, I mean, I just,
Well, quickly.
you know, let's listen to Joe.
Well, first let me say, Zen Brown.
I'm asking before Joe has a heart attack live on YouTube here. I'm saying, people, calm the hell down. Instead of saying shit like that, just say, look, can you please fix the Super 7? Period. That's it. Don't throw in you'll quit, you're not getting my money, or Brian Friend, you're the Antichrist or something like that, you know? Just
No, there is that level that.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, and that's why we. Yeah. And we kind of, like I said, try to bring up here about being calm. First, let me say, Zen Brown, Amational, Eric Amen, and Kevin Sharp. I just want to acknowledge all four of you guys because we were on a hell of a rant.
Kevin.
No, but
God, Joe.
No, the thing,
man, I've never heard you make that noise before.
What I do?
He honestly sounded like one of my dogs for a second when she goes into a panic. He's just like,
Did I? I didn't even know I was panting.
What do you mean?
Well, I do that when I
know.
I don't know. It's a tick. Maybe it's something I do with instinctively, not even thinking about it.
Joe's like, oh my God, you're gonna have to issue a public apology next week. We can't have this.
No, you're fine. But when you were saying why do people why are they freaking out from one picture compared to the other? It's almost like what Nathan said. Sure, when we see pictures at Toy Fair, you see one thing, and then usually
especially pictures, we're seeing the actual figures on display, though.
Well, no, that's what I'm getting at. Okay. They're seeing pictures of the figures on display at Toy Fair, which always usually those production samples, those, prototypes
yes,
that they
it's
put
not
up
the final
are painted.
product, but
yeah,
yes.
Right. Exactly. Not the final product. They look beautiful. And then when you get the figure, there's something that happens, unfortunately, with the factory process of the heads that make the faces look weird. So when they seen these pictures on Super 7's site, they look different. So in some of these people's heads, they were thinking, are these some of the samples already? And they already looked altered. So yeah, you're right. They went into panic mode, but it did look weird. Like when I looked at God's Skeletor, for some reason, his head didn't even look like actually it was there. It almost looked like it was photoshopped on because it looked bigger. He-Man's head looked like a peanut, and the colors looked off compared to those pictures too that we seen at Toy Fair. But Brian Flynn did say, it was bad light.
Are you talking about like on Skeletor, like there's some missing paint around his eyes?
Oh no, not that. Well, I meant God Skeletor. Look at his head, because I have the actual pictures of the Toy Fair picture, and then that one that Super 7 posted, and I do see what people meant. The God Skeletor's head looks like it's a little too big and just looks off, and He-Man's head looks a little small. And when they were comparing the colors of the paint apps, there were differences, but Brian Flynn said it might have been the lighting from what they took, to advertise the figures. And if that's the case, that's what I meant. Do a different set of photos, not in that lighting. Make them look a little more dynamic of holding their weapons and more appealing for the customers, because these people that are concerned are actually saying they're not buying because they're freaked out of the photos. So it's a way of helping. It's like, try to take some better photos then, because you don't want to put this up and have people say, I don't want them. Then what's that say? We've been clamoring for these figures for years, and if they don't sell, they might think, see, nobody wanted the movie figures. It's like, no, we do want the movie figures.
Yeah, it's just it's a weird balance. We'll do how people on wrestling forums always say after bad pay-per-views and things going forward. Let's just wait and see. We'll wait until the figures get here, and if they look like shit, then we can all collectively.
Well, in all honesty, too, like of all the current classic figures we've gotten recently, have they screwed up any of the ways that we've gotten notoriously?
Yeah, I don't know. Kevin Sharp, that's weird. He even jumped in. He said, yeah, it looks like it was photoshopped. See, so I guess there really is something going on about those photos that's got people looking at them in a weird way. But it was just my kind of suggestion that if they're listening, hopefully you got until March 29th, hopefully within this week, just get somebody to get out there with some better camera angles and better shots of those pictures and show a different way of advertising, because I think it might help. Because I don't want to see these figures not sell and then kind of go away and say, forget it. Since those didn't sell, you're not going to get any more figures based off of that movie, which we want others.
More Prince Adams.
See? And that's what might happen, Tyler. Unfortunately, if these don't sell, then it's like, okay, forget it. If we had Evelyn and Beastman and Lubick and others playing, you're not going to get them now because nobody wants them. It's like, no, we do want them. Just make sure you advertise them to where it gets people excited because those are 4 kind of scary pictures. Karg, I guess people, they're going to get them no matter what. If they figure, oh, Karg's okay. But when they looked at the other 3, especially God, Skeletor, and He-Man, it was just something was off. So that's just a suggestion we thought we'd do at the beginning, and hopefully they could take it to heart and realize that there's people that keep it constructive, and then, like you said, don't go nuts about it. I didn't tell anybody.
I don't think anybody from Super 7 listens to us, but I mean, for people who buy their products or whatever, just if you're going to reach out to them, just be cool about it. Don't throw in the nonsense. Just make the point and move on, because they do acknowledge the stuff. They've done it and still been, have shit thrown in their face too. So just try to, and I'm not telling people to not be upset about that stuff. Lord knows I make my reputation on this podcast as being an upset asshole. So I'm not telling you that you're not entitled to be upset about this stuff and be concerned. No, that's not the point. Just, try to be as respectful about it, but make your point known. Take the time to do that, because it is important that these things do sell. I'd hate to think that, the next proposed wave of classics fails because people are concerned over a picture. Seems kind of, I kind of feel like that seems so odd, though, given the reaction of videos that were taken that show the figures and all those high resolution pictures that were taken. It's not the finished product, but I felt like that was enough to get everybody. I'm buying those instantly, no matter what. And then you look at, the pictures on the website are never that great anyway.
Just wait and see.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see. And if it's bad, I'll give him a call and I'll be like, "You assholes! You said you got this is Tyler Baker, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going to take
Fans of Power podcast.
Try and stop me. I'm going to do it right now." I feel like that Robocop 2 commercial. They didn't get my. They took my money. I didn't get the figures I wanted. And there's it pans over to a picture of somebody's child. Boom. Super 7. We care or something like that.
Great.
Perfect.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You guys are just laughing because you don't know what to do.
No, you said RoboCop 2.
I know, but do you know the part that I'm talking about in RoboCop 2?
Yes.
No, Joe.
Me? Of course I don't.
All right. So your favorite blockhead said, "So Battle of Roboto."
Yes, go ahead. You start us off because this is your choice. This is Nathan's pick for mini comic was Battle of Roboto. So you might as well start us off, Nathan.
He went through many hours of going through this book and had to find the right one. So I want to let everyone know the hard work Nathan put in to get it narrowed down to Battle of Roboto.
No, Tyler's lying. I hit him up and he gave me a bunch of choices, and I went through the choices he gave me, and we did it. You really think I'm sorry to anybody else? You really think I'm going to spend my Sunday afternoon flipping through this and be like, "Oh, well, gee, golly whiz, I wonder what Joe's really going to like out of this book." No.
Now, what made you pick this, though? Was it the cover? Did you kind of do skimming of the suggestions from Tyler of what it looked like for each comic inside? Or just...
I don't, I think he was probably just flipped a coin if he even did that.
I looked at the covers. Give me a little bit of credit.
I didn't think you did that.
Well,
my original plan was I was going to go to the Fans of Power Facebook page, and I was going to comment on there, be like, "Hey, it's up to me to pick the mini comic for this review on this episode this week. What is unanimously between everybody the worst mini comic? What is something that Joe and Tyler have said before that they would never do on the show?" I wanted to pick that one.
Oh, we've almost gotten to the point. Well, I think we have reviewed the worst of the worst.
Yeah, we just didn't get the second worst one. Yeah. We haven't touched that yet. Mantenna. We haven't touched that, but we did get Leech.
Which I came close to throwing out to Nathan when he said, "What would be like the worst?" And I'm like, well, there's not one that we wouldn't do, but it still sucks,
right?
So
yeah. I think if we ever do Mantenna, we got to have Nathan there because he's got to be some kind of other voice to go between us because we know how much we hate that damn Mantenna.
I love it. So I'm just gonna say it now. I love it. I already love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out one day when we do that. But why don't you start us off, Nathan? Your thoughts on Battle Roboto?
I'm gonna say, first of all, like going through it, I feel like as a kid, and I would have read this, I would have enjoyed it immensely because compared to the other mini comics that I have been participating on with the show, like there's not as much dialogue on here. They let the art speak for itself more or less. And as a
we
kid,
know why.
and
Yes,
especially because I don't know how to read.
No, I bet we know why. The art definitely it doesn't. You don't need words. The art does it all because we have the perfect artist for this mini comic, don't we, Tyler?
Yes, we most certainly do.
Larry Houston, the best of the best, right there. Damn it!
Yeah.
Like I said, he could tell the story without the words. Yeah, and I'll just say really quickly, Nathan and Tyler, this cover. It's weird as I picked it up. Was looking at it again. I remember this one. I think I was so damn obsessed on just the cover. I don't know what that was with seeing Roboto holding up Bashosaurus like that, attacking He-Man, but I mean, I just love my damn Bashosaurus. I used to play with it like to death. But this was one of my favorite covers. Just something just drew me in about that. It just seeing, especially Roboto looking that powerful and taking on He-Man. At first, I remember being confused, like, what is going on here? But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite mini comics, mini covers. But go ahead.
It's definitely
or Tyler.
I mean, for me as a kid, because I didn't have Roboto, but I had Too Bad, and it was definitely I feel like I said this about a lot of characters, but I think it's true about a lot of characters. Roboto is another character that I think is well loved, but clearly not. Hey Kevin, we need you to draw a Roboto pinup. That's what we need, Kevin. You hearing this right now? We need you to draw Roboto. Understand? You make a lot of money.
Let's see if he pops up. I'll let you know if he pops up with anything. Go ahead.
Kevin, a doodle of Roboto. But a character that I remember as a child, it felt like that was my idol. That Indiana Jones is chasing after that idol that and steals it from the temple in the beginning of the Raiders. Like Roboto for me as a kid was like that. Like I must have the robot character with the seat because I didn't know his name for a little while. But I from this mini comic, that was my first introduction to Roboto, and I wouldn't get him until I think 7th grade. I got him at the Hillsville Flea Market, and he was missing his arm attachment piece. It was just broken off and paint discoloration. But I was like, oh my god, it's Roboto. I had to. Here's my $2.
Oh man, $2. See that would go for about a good $45 these days.
Oh yeah, beat to hell, missing everything. You got to give me $50 for it, there, kid. It's from the 80s.
Yep. And Tyler, yes. I got a quick one for you. As from seeing Roboto in this mini comic and with this heart, when you finally got the toy, were you expecting the toy to have a heart, or did you know about the gear feature things, or you didn't know about that?
No, because I had the mini comic as a kid, but over time that was one of them that got lost, and I had no idea what happened to it. So by the time I knew about the fact that Roboto was see-through. And the gear.
Oh, but you just forgot about the whole.
Oh, yeah, okay. The whole heart thing was like that was completely forgotten until I ended up getting the mini comic just a couple years later with a Men on Card Roboto my dad got for me, and reintroduced myself to all that. So no, I think it's a nice touch, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you're going to do or come up with an excuse to make another damn variant, I think this version of Roboto with the full body, not see-through, with the heart, you can open up this little chest plate and see the heart in there. I think that would be an interesting figure to release, like like Roboto 2.0.
But that makes sense because it's actually changing, almost vastly changing its appearance.
Yeah, the schematics
that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm like, why haven't people clamored for that? Instead, they're like, I want a 2000X better than this guy. It's just like, what's wrong with this one? Who?
This one is good, but yeah, I do like my 2000X one.
Well,
Let me see, what did Kevin Sharp say?
I'm just saying, what Kevin?
Kevin said, with Roboto, I dig his 2000X design more. He said, me personally. So
all right, fine. Well, let's see you do a doodle of the 2000X Roboto. That's what I want to see.
Someone in the chat was like, draw Robot's doodle.
What?
Oh, I get it. His doodle is peanut. Okay, I got you. Is that what they meant? I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man, raunchy juvenile humor.
There's Tyler. this thing. Hey, maybe Kevin could do an amalgamation. Maybe he could do 2000X and do something where he could even show the heart from this one. Maybe he could do some kind of crossover thing. If anybody could do it, I'm sure Kevin could. It's not like we're trying to give him ideas, Kevin, to do stuff and have it here next week when he's on the show to show us this.
I mean, that if we were doing that, we could say, well, Kevin, you should draw like Icer or Stronghold or Webstore or Dilamug or Lizard Man. Lizard Man would be tremendous by Kevin. Draw him like a little kick-ass like Spider-Man pose, like him perching on a rock with his like palms on a rock, with his knees kind of like like he's perched. That'd be so.
He's got to debut something. Debut something here next week, Kevin. Something unique, straight for fans of Power.
Sorry
to the world. We got to see it.
Sorry, Kevin. Now you know how I feel when Joe's like pressuring you into doing something all the time.
Hey, let me tell you something here. Last Sunday, I get a message from Kevin just doodling here, and I'm getting like the almost full version of Tube. I'm like, that's a doodle. And by the afternoon, that thing was up and running. So, dude, I will share the hell out of that thing if you get that thing finished. And he did, and he sold it.
Yeah, that's
and people wanted it. So I'm like, this is no big deal for Kevin here. So
yeah.
It's
just called that's an easy break for him, and it's something that would take 3 hours, 4 hours for somebody to do. It's just like,
or I
will
will say this:
real quick.
There is if Kevin is willing to take like a unanimous vote from like us and the listeners in the chat room of one character we would like to see him draw for fun. I throw that out. If people in the chat, if Kevin just says yes to that, doesn't have to do it, but if he's willing to maybe humor that challenge of like, based on who's in the chat room, would like a unanimous vote for one character in the chat room, we'll look at that, and based on what we see, we'll say, all right, draw this guy. For fun.
And he can almost do it. Hey, check this out. What could be even cooler is we've seen many people do this on Facebook and other places too, where they do a live draw cast. So maybe for that part of the podcast, if he's up to it and willing, depending on what people said, like you said, he can turn his camera around to show him drawing that live. I think that would be kind of cool.
No,
create something. Yes. I think that'd be great.
We want to have the finished doodle to share on the podcast. It will be unbelievable. We'll have it sent to Nathan.
Oh, no, I'm putting up to another challenge. This is another challenge. I think that'd be even greater to see him do it live. Let's see what he could come up with in 10 minutes. One part of the show, we give it all to Kevin. We talk to him, and he'll have 10 minutes to go ahead and do a live draw.
So while he's trying to draw something to perfection, we have to distract the hell out of him. Hey, Kevin.
Hell yes.
Kevin, what was it like when you worked on that He-Man comic? Hang on.
Kevin. This is called multitasking. I think he can do it. He's a multitasker, and I think you can do it, Kevin.
So be on the podcast. Be on, ready to go, and then draw a picture at the same time.
He could do it.
I'm gonna say he's already saying in the chat, I will try to debut a couple of pieces if I can, and he also says already got a Shakoti in progress. If we're taking requests, I want one of Chris Pratt kicking Tyler in the nuts.
Well, I can do better than that. I will personally go over to Nathan's house right now live on YouTube and kick him in the nuts.
No, I'll lock the door.
I want to have trouble getting that door. Let's smash the hell out of it right now.
I thought we were talking about this. No.
Yeah, we were supposed to be talking about that, but hey, Kevin, come on. I'll give you $5.
Yeah, we're going back to Nathan's willing to pay cash to have a picture of me drawing, put in his house. And what can I say?
That is the one picture of you I will display. Honestly, if Kevin were to ever do that one day, I'll find a way to like somewhere behind me. I'll go and like get it scanned and blown up into like a 24x36 and just hang it there on the door.
Oh, marvelous!
Hell, why don't you put it on a T-shirt? You're usually proud of wearing those T-shirts right there and showing nice, good detail.
That would be good too. That would be good too. See, there's already people that are just well, not that many, but Delva said, and then Kevin Sharp said his fiance just lost it laughing. So there you go. I think it's unanimous. Chris Pratt kicking Tyler in the nuts. That's the picture that will be done.
I have a feeling he's going to do it. I do think he's going to do it.
Kevin's got too much dignity.
No. Kevin Sharp says I'll draw Pratt breaking his foot on Tyler's manly taint.
Yes. Get ready for that next week.
All right, hey, if you're going to do that, then now that's just being, realistic of what would happen. If that prick were to even attempt to just, yes, it would. It'd be like hitting, an iron ball sack. That's what it would be like. And he would just break his ankle, then I would just stomp on his neck afterwards. Stop making shitty moves.
He's creating a new story right now. This is Tyler's version of a new mini comic crossover. Christ, that's terrible.
Speaking of mini comics.
Yes. How about go back to it, Nathan?
Yes.
We didn't get your impressions at all. Go on.
Well, I mean, I thought usually when we do these things, we start from the beginning and we just go through the entire story. So we get our old pal, Man at Arms. It's like, hey, look at this! I built a robot. And Adam's like, yeah, that's cool. And Tila's all excited because she's like, look at what my dad did. And then he's like, here's the various weapons. And I guess I'll ask this as well. Was there sort of a similar did Roboto show up in Filmation? And if so,
one episode.
Did they kind of take any elements from this mini comic and implement it into?
No, honestly, like I'm more part, and they did kind of the same thing with the Golden Book, the hardcover. I like this one better. I like Roboto being built by Man at Arms, because they did in 2000X to a certain degree. But this is my favorite origin. I don't like the idea of him being like an outer
from another planet.
Yeah, from Robotique. I'm like, that's just lame. Even though Larry DeTiller wrote that story, not one of his better scripts. In terms of origins for Roboto, it's a great story because Modulot takes control of Roboto, which is badass. But I like the idea of Roboto just being built, and I like this idea that he's got a heart that if it's removed, he's pretty much kind of susceptible to anybody's control, which makes him a very dangerous weapon. But of course, the Sorceress changes all that. But I like this origin a lot for Roboto. I like his personality, that he is aware he can talk to people. He has a bit of a personality. He's kind of a stoic robot, but he clearly sees and wants to do good and knows the difference between right and wrong. I like that. And then when you remove the heart, he just becomes a killing machine. It's a kick-ass origin for Roboto, I think.
And
they definitely made it. Yeah. They made it imposing and intimidating. And didn't mean to cut you off there real quick,
you're good.
Nathan, but
you did it anyway.
It is like I said. He's like, but anyway, so fuck off. No, it's the thought of when they mentioned of him being invincible was kind of strange, because I was like, well, geez, if he's invincible, what's that kind of mean for He-Man? But I did like that, and it was, for me, a little scary as a kid. I remember when I read this comic, I was like, oh my god, he's unstoppable. And you think, well, why would that be scary, Joe? He's a good guy.
Terminator.
But especially then when but then when you see especially what Skeletor does removing his heart, it's like, oh god, now that is why it's scary. But I kind of like that, because at least makes him seem pretty damn strong. Because like you said, we didn't get much for Roboto story wise. Like you said, yes, we got him in a couple little books here, got him in this mini comic and stuff, and you got him an episode of Filmation. Of course, MYP, that's years later. But back then, you didn't get much for him. So seeing something to show that, he can be a really big badass, especially with some of the stuff he does later in the mini comic, it makes it one of the favorite versions you could seen of him back in the day.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too that I always have a great appreciation for what's the word? I guess just allowing from Lee Norlink and Larry Houston and a lot of people who worked on these books to have a lot of freedom to kind of look, if you're going to sell this with the action figure, a particular action, like we're told we're going to have this one book included with Too Bad and Roboto, so therefore they need to look strong. I mean, it goes back to like with wrestling. We're debuting this new heel wrestler. You got to make him look strong. If you're going to debate him on Raw, go out and squash a guy. Go out the next Raw, squash. Like, you need to build him up. Like, Too Bad is depicted, obviously, as like, two heads arguing with himself, but he's also depicted as a very strong villain. And Roboto, like, you couldn't have depicted Roboto any stronger in this. Especially, I think it's more fun to watch when Skeletor takes the heart and says, I'm in control of you. And he's just going around causing chaos. Like, I just that makes Roboto like, oh man, it's very much like Terminator.
And Too Bad, like you said, strong enough to hold Roboto for that time for Skeletor to get the heart out. So it shows that Too Bad is pretty strong. Not just being a simple old food, like you said, in this mini comic, is arguing a lot with himself, especially tearing the shields in half. But yes, he was able to at least hold Roboto while Skeletor got that heart out. And So again, not a bumbling, a complete idiot, but you're right. The artistic liberties and freedom that they were given to, do stuff in this. Like I said, the stories with the art, how it's told. Later on when you see that part where I love seeing it, it looks like it's kamikaze, like she just lost it when Tila flies in with Bashosaurus to smash into Landshark. I love how that piece is drawn. It's just Larry Houston did something. I don't know how he captured just the whole feeling and bam power of that. But I also like how when Roboto, I love when the Bashosaurus is ready to smash on him. In one hand, he grabs it and just like throws it. It's like, damn, he's strong,
Yeah,
So it's not like he's just
Larry
invincibly
drew it,
strong.
just easily deflecting it, and to see the bash. Because it doesn't look like it's that far from, like, it wasn't much of a struggle for him to hurl the entire bit off the ground and into the air.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite shots in this book is that shot of Roboto holding up, his blaster arm, and with inside here. It just looks so cool. Like, hey, Kevin, if you ever draw a Roboto, draw him like that. Like, I want to see your Roboto drawn like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Go ahead, Nathan.
No, I just it's kind of surprising, I guess, that they didn't adapt more from mini comics and use them as actual episodes, because I think if they would have done this, that would have been pretty cool. Maybe too violent.
Well, you look at
that's how it is. With them,
Well, honestly, this is not on. It's just a shame that Filmation wasn't really, I guess, felt like they were. Well, I guess they probably did worry that about if we include. Because there's a little bit of sword fighting going in here, but honestly, if I'm looking at the fight right now where He-Man's taking on Skeletor, then Too Bad attacks him, he throws Too Bad. The most violent thing in here is when Roboto's slashing down at Tila, and
that
the shield's busting open.
Busting.
The next whack is going down into Tila's skull. So
we wouldn't have seen that in the cartoon at all.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying to imply that Tila is probably about ready to have her head torn open here. But still, like this, I think this is a fight that clearly could have been in Filmation if they didn't have to worry about everyone accusing them of being demon worshippers and devil worship and witchcraft and all that bullshit. Because when Roboto and Too Bad introduced in season 2, that the as we've said before, the vibe falls falls victim to the, you got to make it much more brightened up for the kids. And but I still feel like I'm with Nathan too. I would love to see a lot of these mini comics become an animated special or an episode.
Well, how about this? I don't know, Tyler, if you were a fan of it, but you know how when Watchmen came out, they took certain parts and had like that animated comic thing. Now, if they were to bring who they could from the Filmation He-Man and sort of do that and make it look like this is moving with those voices, would you like that a lot, or would you think they would need to take a different approach?
Honestly, I would be cool if, kind of like what James and Deucen are doing with the Return of Faker, or is to kind of adapt these mini comics, but use the Filmation stock. Like, I would like to see this Roboto mini comic adapted as a Filmation episode using Filmation Too Bad, Filmation Roboto. I'm it wouldn't look like the mini comic, but I like to think if they could come up with ways to adapt this particular story. Because Landshark's in it in Filmation, so you could use that. Couldn't use the Bashosaurus. You'd have to come up with something else, a Tack Track or a Battle Ram or Wind Raider or something like that. But the bulk of this story, I felt it could be used in Filmation. Of course, Roboto doesn't have the arm attachments in Filmation. He's just got the two hands. But I think that would be really cool. It's asking a whole lot, because God knows it's taken James and Deuce to finish that special a long time to do. But I think it'd be fun to see it done like that, though. But I'd be open to what like what Nathan was suggesting as well too, because they're great stories, and hell, even like with the Golden Book VHS, where they took those Golden Book stories, just kind of showed you an image with a little bit of animation with some voiceover work and stuff like that. It's just they're just not appreciated as much by the masses, because people are just don't want to take the damn time. Unlike our buddy Kyle, who went and bought a lot of books to say, hey, I'm going to do my damn research and my homework. People need to be reminded that there's so much great stories out there. And to kind of give people a lot of depth and perspective on these characters, and because we're not going to be getting a new cartoon anytime soon. I think let's just face facts. So, yeah, it would be nice to see something like this come to fruition. It really would. If they don't want to turn over the reins with someone who is a competent writer, then I say we just go with the best of the past and adapt that.
And a lot of these guys are saying here in the chat that a vast majority of the voice cast for Filmation have unfortunately passed away, which I kind of assumed, given like the time
John
apart
and
and
Alan
everything.
are still alive, but I don't think John would.
I guess my idea was just like if they were to turn these into motion comics and find people that could mimic it as best they could to put it together, and at least have these mini comics like in action. I think that'd be a cool idea.
Yeah, I think I mean, any of these. I mean, really, aside from like a choice few, a lot of these mini comics could become just as like a sampling. Like if Mattel, wanted to do like a fun little giveaway thing at San Diego. Hey, we put together like a 30-minute, throwback episode, Filmation style, based on one of the mini comics, just to pique people's interest. You can only get it at San Diego or some shit like that. But I think there's so many stories that have Skeletor's Dragon, Battle of Roboto, Clash of Arms. Oh man, The Stench of Evil. There's so many great stories that I feel like I think they deserve to. Hey, if Dragon's Gift, Double-Edged Sword, and Slave City were all episodes, I mean, why stop there? Why can't Search for Keldor get an episode? To see Clampjet and Ninja and Scareglow and Faker depicted. It's a completely off the wall idea of adapting these things, because I'm not sure people think that highly of them like the way we do, in terms of like, hey, I want to see this become an episode. But it's an interesting thought.
And speaking of interesting thoughts, the sorceress puts a protection spell on Roboto at the end. I'm like, well, why didn't you just do that in the first place?
Because because Nathan's all about destroying stories before they even get going.
I know. I just sorry.
We know what you thought.
Well, then the story wouldn't have happened. But I'm just saying, like.
But that's also assuming that she's going to come and follow Matter on Spawn. Hey, look, jerk off. If you create this thing,
I would have been like, hey, do you know how many times Skeletor is trying to infiltrate be here already? We gotta cover our asses when you do things like this. We gotta have a protection plan in place. That's why I'm here, right?
Yeah, that's what Nathan.
I'm just trying to get
time out. Just stop everything.
I'm just trying to get you fired up. Honestly,
of course you are.
It wouldn't be an episode of me being on this podcast if I wasn't trying to do that.
Joe.
Oh no, I was letting Nathan have his moment. No, I wanted Nathan to have that moment because he hasn't said much. This was his choice, so I wanted to see him when he was razzing you and trying to fire you up, getting you fired up right there.
I'm waiting for
but no, you picked it.
Joe says calm. He leans back. I'm like waiting for him to take a sip with the straw and put some popcorn into his mouth, and just kind of sits back and enjoys, the ranting and raving and complaining and negativity that comes from me on here.
No. Like I said, I just wanted to see it. I wanted to see what he was trying to do to, get you fired up, get you upset. But he picked a good one. Again, yeah, like you said, there's, the episodes and the cartoons that, you were comparing with Slave City and Dragon's Gift and Double-Edged Sword. They're ones that, you get the one feel from the cartoon, which, like you said, is a little softer. In the mini comics, you feel like it's a little more violent. So, yeah, I used to always think, though, at one time when I'd read these, I was like, God, these are so much more edgier and they look a little more intense, too. But I guess that's having the best of both worlds. You get one that's, the cartoon, which couldn't do the stuff that was done most of the time in these comics. Like you said, especially with a lot of the weapon attacking, the uses of death, and just the ways they look. Like I said, I mean, especially when you look at Hordak in a lot of these mini comics, especially Spikor. Oh, my God, could you imagine that Spikor from the mini comic in Filmation instead of that slapstick goofball way he talked? God, that is not what I wanted or even expected when I was going to see Spikor in the cartoon. I did not expect that.
Yeah, and I'm sure at some point, I know we discussed Spikor like maybe 2 years ago or something like that, and of course we can always go back and revisit the character.
Yeah.
But I mean, and that's what's unfortunate is that I'm sure a lot of people will know of his interpretation of Filmation and think, oh, well, that's what. But you look at the figure, you don't think that. But that's what I worry about, is that fans can be so impressionable by seeing very, very little, and therefore that first thought or first visual of the character, they're going to carry that on and think Spikor is a klutz or a putz or a yutz or anything that ends with an utz, and I don't want that.
Nuts. Tyler getting kicked in the nuts by Chris Pratt, Kevin
by
Sharp.
Chris Pratt.
Get on it.
Yeah. But I will say this: like Dragon's Gift, the episode beats the hell out of the mini comic, vastly. But I think the Tale of Two Cities is an excellent episode, but it does not beat Slave City. Mainly because we have the character of Lodar and He-Man duking it out with Garn and Lodar. And then
a hell of a fight that would have been cool to see, in the cartoon, but we didn't get nothing like that. But they had a hell of a fight in the mini comic. You're right.
I mean, there's a balance there. That's why I kind of feel like Dragon's Gift beats the mini comic. Double-Edged Sword, the episode, I think beats the mini comic because it's. I kind of feel like that was almost like the script that Larry was given. It was like too much in that book. It's not really focusing on the child's ambition to be one of the Palace Guards who can fight Skeletor and team up with He-Man and Teela, because he doesn't understand, the casualties of the war and what happens when you fight. The people can get hurt. I think that's
what? That could even be something good, Tyler. I think one time, especially with Nathan, if he'd want to join us for that, is possibly doing a comparison thing to where some of those comics and cartoon episodes you said, to maybe we could watch one, read one, discuss, see which one, why we thought would be better. Because it would always be interesting, especially, like I said, a different voice with Nathan to think which did he prefer. But yeah, it'd be good to compare the ones that are just.
I tell you what, then, maybe that's what we should do on the when after we have our Kevin episode too, is that we should try to watch Tale of Two Cities, and then go back to Slave City and have Nathan check that out, and all three of us. That way, I
like that.
Yeah, and just make that the episode is discussing this. We wouldn't have to do a commentary for Tale. We can always go back and do that. That's how you prolong the podcast and episodes. Like, we'll discuss it in a different way. Then we would go back and do a commentary for it. Much later down the road.
Keeps it fresh. Yeah.
All right. Definitely. Yeah, no, I'm down to do that. That would be a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nathan, you have any final thoughts on this? You going to join us for the commentary or what?
I'll sit out for the commentary because I didn't really watch it beforehand, so I'll let you guys take over for that. I'm going to say this. I hope that if there ever comes a day where there will be a new Masters Universe cartoon that adapt a little bit from more of these mini comics, that just kind of do that. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you didn't like the whole thing, I feel like there's maybe some of those earlier stories don't have like the best stories in general, but like the Power of Castle Grayskull, it's a fun mini comic, but I feel like you could do a little bit more with it, kind of flesh it out a little bit, because it's more or less a storybook as opposed to a comic book. But I mean, you're going to do Clash of Arms. That ought to be like Sin City, where you just copy panel for panel. You don't change anything. You just make that story. I think that's something that needs to be looked at, and not just, hey, you knew nothing about He-Man, didn't grow up with it. I bet you got some great ideas.
Hey, you over there with the man bun. Come here.
Yeah. You had some really lame ass jokes that should be on some shitty CW sitcom on Thursday nights. What do you think we should do with this storyline here and making into an animated series? I think it lends itself well to comic, because I mean, look at this guy in the loincloth. Wah wah wah.
Yeah, I can't say it enough. It's like when Nathan and I were doing Never Hike Alone commentary earlier, and that's a fan movie, a Friday the 13th fan movie. And you could tell they were fans, and it was made by the fans for the fans, and it shows. I was bringing that up, and I was kind of reflecting that into Masters of the Universe, Princess Power. It's like, okay, if you want people to do it, really, you got to get some people that are fans and really know this property. Don't get somebody just because, hey, this guy is a director. Hey, this guy's a writer. He must be able to do it great. I don't care if you're a writer or a director. It doesn't mean you know this property and you're going to butcher the hell out of it. Get fans involved somehow. Okay, if you're going to be the director or something, get some people that know this shit and can absorb it and have read it and listened and watched the cartoons for years and can really get the passion and emotion from the fans to the fans. That's what it should be. But you get it instead, like you said, somebody said, hey, wow, I had the Stratos figure when I was 5. Damn it, I love Master of the Universe. And that's all they know. And suddenly now they're writing the new story. It's like, none of this makes sense. So, and that's why
and you
things
see
suck.
that goofy ass. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to hear anything more about it. But like, yeah, he was going to make a Lord of the Rings style. Like,
and that's what amazes me. I brought that up, Tyler. I said it, and even Dushin, he even backed me up when I said it. I said, they're saying he had a Lord of the Rings style, and it was all going to be like this and all this fantasy stuff. I was like, he's the same guy that showed us that godforsaken, awful battleground or battlesuit Tila, showed all those drabby vehicles and bland backgrounds that looked barren, like futuristic. I was like, yeah, that sounds like Lord of the Rings, looks like Lord of the Rings. Get the hell out of here. He wasn't going to do that. We were going to get the most piece of crap movie.
I hate how everyone has to say, it's going to be like Star Wars. It's going to be like Lord of the Rings. There's no comparison. As if like, it must be good. They're going to copy something else that's already been done.
Hey, Tyler, March now. Remember, it's March, Tyler. This movie's coming out in December. Remember.
Oh, yeah, this December. They start filming this summer. And they're going to have 6 months to film the damn thing. Oh, cast it because, they've yet to do that.
Yeah, it's happening, though. It's Oh God, that's why we never talk. We hate talking about it because this comes up every time. But Jesus, Nathan, give us a final thought before Tyler and I start doing our commentary.
Unless this is being filmed by like Canon Pictures and like they're like fronting a Sony,
Canon's back, everybody.
Yeah, Canon's back. They're going to film it in Prague for 13 days and turn it in, with a $10 million budget.
We get a Superman 5 with that too. Go ahead.
We could have. We should have.
I know the mini comic school, as I said before, it was different. It was nice to see minimal dialogue, let the action speak for itself, let the art. And I didn't do the research to look and see that Larry had done it, but now I know that it's even cooler. And I guess before I go, I'm going to say hello to Devil's 3-year-old Clayton. I hope you've had your earmuffs on a little bit, a time or two, because those 4-letter words, don't go repeating those because you'll get in trouble.
Sorry. And hey, I just know something else. He also said, my boy keeps saying, uh-oh, bad guy, every time he sees me. No, I'm not a bad guy.
No.
Well, he wouldn't think that if Joe would show his face.
No, then he really
children are very perceptive, Joe. So,
yeah.
He knows your connections. Maybe Clayton's with the FBI.
Yeah.
Hot on your trail.
Yeah, he's kind of like 21 Jump Street. He's posing to be a youngster, but really he's like cream of the crop. He's brought in.
He's actually 43 years old.
Yeah.
It's coming for you, Joe.
My boss Modulok over there.
That's right. At least I always have a smile. All right. Well, Nathan, if you're heading out, we'll get into the commentary, and then of course everybody after the commentary, you can have any questions for us. So stick around for that, and I'm sure Nathan might return for that part of the show as well.
Yeah, I'll be in there. I gotta give you guys a little bit of hell before we end this thing.
Yeah.
So, I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
All right, now this, I'm gonna pass it to Tyler because Tyler's gonna tell everybody which episode we're gonna listen to, and I know it's gonna be down on the link. You'll tell them how to
get sued.
He's like, I'm saying it right now, and everybody can hear it. But you'll have to give everybody what to do.
All right, we're using a link on YouTube so you can watch it, for free. You don't have to pay for it or anything like that, or if you watch it on DVD. But I'm going to count down from 3, and we'll all hit play together. 3, 2, 1, play. Bing.
Keeping that mind, or that sound you heard earlier from Tyler, just happened right there.
Yeah.
Anytime that Castle Grayskull or He-Man, of course, popped up in She-Ra, I just remember as a kid just getting so damn giddy because we weren't getting any more new He-Man episodes, and of course, love She-Ra just as much, watching the cartoon. But boy, any reference, I just remember I'd go nuts seeing Castle Grayskull or He-Man or something. That's when it'll start happening in this episode. I don't know your thoughts on it, but these kind of episodes I love the most, seeing the brother and sister teaming up to take on the bad guys.
And this was my first time seeing the crossover. From this very exact, this is the one I used to rent. This is the exact copy I rented as a child that I had bought from Beyond
Oh, no
Video.
kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The actual one, the same clamshell, the exact same tape that was in my VCR as a child when I rented it is all here. So this
How
is
cool
how
is that?
I viewed this episode many, many times. I bought it with my own money. I think I paid like $5 for it, and I was so proud.
Going out of business sale, I take it. Is that what it was? They were going out.
What I would learn, they eventually they were, but they were just kind of selling movies from there, and that's how I bought He-Man and She-Ra tapes. Was through that, and I rented this. They had this one in the volume with Huntara, and I think volume 1 as well. And I used to rent the Huntara tape a lot too, but this one especially because Laughing Dragon was attached to it in this one, and but a beautiful panning shot of Castle Grayskull here, and I just for me because like I said, I didn't get to watch as much She-Ra on TV. I got to see some, but this is the first time we're getting to see the He-Man cast interacting with She-Ra, so it really was mind blowing to me, and just it was fun. Like I really liked Orko, and I just he was like kind of like a buddy in this episode, like someone you can just will love to pal around with. Because he's just Laird Taylor does a great job because he wrote this episode. He does a great job of depicting everybody, especially Orko in particular, because this is an Orko-centric episode. And
anytime, even here she goes with her little version of Fantasia. It's like, like Orko's got to do it physically. She's just like bang. But I always like that stuff too. Anytime you could see anything within Castle Grayskull, I remember I get so excited because you always wanted to see more of the secrets and parts and rooms of the place. And of course, just even seeing Orko and Sorceress together, just doing something is different. But we knew it was, but we knew we were leading up to something when she was like, "Watch out about these portals." Like, I think we know what might be going on here, but I liked,
trying to keep that little skeleton from sneezing. I just thought it's a fun way of getting Orko on Etheria and just is lost immediately. And God, this is my favorite She-Ra episode, hands down.
You know what's funny is as a kid, because again I just watched them all the time and I never rented them, but I also forgot, like when I'd watch this, that Orko didn't know who She-Ra was and never was on Etheria. I forgot that, at least from this episode, this is his, first time seeing She-Ra. Yeah. I just remember, I just was always under the impression. I was like, wait, I thought he's seen her already. I was like, oh, wait, no, in Secret of the Sword, I don't think he's seen her. So, your mind, especially when you're younger, sometimes plays tricks on you. But I like that kind of little smash with him and Madame Raz there when they kind of meet up. You always like seeing, it's like crossover
this was
stuff.
Wonderful. This makes sense. There should be a moment where Orko, Madame Raz, and Broom all meet. And this is perfect storytelling. This is the logical, first person Orko should be Madame Raz and Broom, and the curiosity of they clearly look like you're
Hey, do you know what? This also is what we're going to see, and I've said it a million times, and I'm going to try to do a research on this. Look at Mantenna. Yeah. Bam. He accomplished what he had to do. I've said this so many times. I hate the disrespect that they always show to Mantenna, meaning he's the one that always gets the trapdoor treatment. I know, and it's supposed to be funny when it happens, but I'm thinking, Catcher, the one supposed to be the force captain doing everything. I've always said every time she turns in that damn panther, she barely accomplishes anything. What, maybe once, twice? But Mantenna, the one that's getting disrespected, look at this. And of course, a new power with his eye beams. He's got so many things. This guy, like I said, should get more respect because Mantenna, I think, has accomplished more in the cartoon than many of the other Evil Horde members. At least it seems like that at times.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times he ought to be the one depicted as force captain, but that's why I feel like if you're going for a little bit more, that's why I feel like if they were to hire competent writers to work on a current She-Ra cartoon, you could really build up making Catra a legitimate contender to be a force captain and earn her right to, and why she is force captain. Obviously, in the cartoon, it's a throwaway title to give to her. It's not really they're not really going to take a whole lot of time to build the villains consistently because this is individual episodes, a little bit of continuity here and there. That's
like I said, that's the benefit half the time. I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong. Yes, a little continuity if they were to make new ones is good, but you don't get to get this kind of stuff, these nice, good one-off episodes to where you don't have to know 50 episodes to lead to this. It's like, that's the one thing that they miss with these things. But, well, here you see Broom. He's flying off. He's letting She-Ra know what the heck's going on. His Orko and Madame Raz, like you've seen right now, are caught in some kind
catching
of
his breath. Yeah, I just thought that was such a fun moment as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And Lou Scheimer does such a great job as the voice of Broom. And I just like Broom in general. Like, I just thought he was a fun character.
Yeah, I liked him.
And I love Swiftman's voice by Lou Scheimer here.
Oh, I love his voice, and I always loved this stuff when she would communicate with the sorceress. We got to, oh man, it got me so giddy that they would talk and speak with each other, and just to know that she's gonna be sending He-Man, that stuff, I loved it.
Yeah, God, I got so pumped when she said He-Man will want to help too. I'll send for him immediately. Oh man,
like, yes. Oh yeah. That's it. I mean, that's what you're hoping. When you see Orko pop up, you see the beginning in Castle Grayskull, immediately in your mind as a kid, you're just thinking, oh, please, let He-Man be there too. I want to see He-Man and his sister together. You loved watching them and seeing them together. So when she talked with the sorceress and she made that mention right there, we knew what was coming. So
and
we always get to the gritty old fright zone.
Build up to Hordak's entrance. Like, by this point, you've seen him many times, but
I like that chair, how it rises.
Entrance. Yeah, this panning shot up to the top of the throne, and then the chair rises. Yeah, it's epic as hell.
It is, because how many times has that entrance in that cool pan around spin been shown of Hordak? Has that been shown a lot in the cartoons? Because it seems like it's just real noticeable here. How they have there, you know?
I don't recall it, but then again, too, I am not going to pretend like I have every episode of She-Ra memorized, because I do not. But I've always linked that bit of animation to this episode, only this episode. So,
okay.
But it may have been featured, but it's depicted very seriously in this episode. Oh, this whole sequence here, like this whole episode. I
like how Orko ate. Yeah, and Orko ain't even scared, calling him bonehead or whatever. I love how Orko ain't scared. And then this is, and it gets him a little freaked out. But you're right. I love how they're so curious about Orko. That's what it makes it great in this episode. Oh, of course, wait, here comes He-Man. I'll get to the other part in a second. But there you go. Get to see his sis. Always like that moment because, oh man, now we were going to see the tag team of power.
Too, so Hordak has Orko, does he? Like, I just love he's ready to come here and kick some ass, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's on here on business. I love that. And we're ready to jump right into it.
And I love this. I love how they talk about Orko and how Shadow Weaver, they just can't figure this creature out, and how they make him sound so special and powerful. This is what I love about Orko, especially when we found out he's the most powerful wizard in all of Trala. And, of course, in the cartoon, he doesn't get to showcase as much as we'd love. That's why I wish we kind of got more out of him, because they make it seem like he's such a special, unique individual, and a very powerful one at that, especially if he has his magic working correctly all the time.
There's a little buzzsaw Hordak for you.
Yeah, a little bit. I like Orko's face there, though, too. You see how he's looking angry, like he wasn't even scared. I kind of
quite defiant towards Hordak,
Yeah.
Which the only time makes you wonder how Orko's magic would work on Etheria. Like on Eternia, it doesn't work as much because not being on Trala, it's a little more magical based planet. But I'm just kind of curious if those rules. I know, I get it, and most of this is just stuff for story. Yeah. But I'm just curious, if Orko's magic would be stronger on Etheria or any different, or.
Yeah, I know completely what you mean. And I also like that, when you first see this, when he's trying to check out what's in his mind and you see this nonsense, I never took it like, I didn't take it like they were saying Orko has nothing going on upstairs, but basically,
that's how I took it.
Orko's so powerful. Well, I always took it as, he's so powerful with his magic. He's screwing with Hordak. Like, you can't get in my head. That's another mystery of why the hell can't I read this guy's mind? Look, see how he's sitting there waving defiantly.
Like, pop of that head. That's one of the best shots of Hordak. Is like, what the hell?
Right.
And he yells, "Silence!"
I loved it.
It's a.
This
great
is a good
sequence. One. Yeah, I love it to death. It just. Having Orko be so like giving the finger to Hordak through this whole sequence here, and then when the Mind Sweeper blows up, he's like, "That was fun. Can we do it again?" Just pouring salt on the wound and just irritating the hell out of Hordak.
Yeah, and also with it blowing up to like that kind of is making Shadow Weavers think, Jesus. I mean, he blew up the Minesweeper. Like she knows there's something powerful there. Like maybe Horde Prime can see what's going on. They have their little plot. It's a shame though, like you said, he didn't get the shine in this episode of doing any of this magic because they're really making him show he's coming across as being so powerful, but we didn't get to see him do nothing. And that was the only thing I wish we could have. But you know what? It still worked. It worked plenty.
Yeah.
You know, it still was a great episode. I was waiting for the moment, him to do something, or hell, even him and Madame Raz together would have did some kind of magic spells. But it's a fun episode. It's one that, yeah, you know, at times when I'm watching an episode, I always like giving an episode shit or saying something. But I really didn't want to do it for this, you know, this episode.
I wouldn't have it because this is my favorite Sheer episode, period.
He's like, that's it. He's like, Nathan, cut Joe's feed right now. I'll finish the commentary
I'll finish this
by
commentary
myself.
solo here.
Right.
Yeah, I just it's a. I mean, I know everyone has their favorite episodes, but I just think this is the perfect She-Ra episode. Not just because it's a He-Man crossover, but it's a great story. The villains are very strong in this episode. It's a fun action adventure episode. It's not silly or hokey or played down to be a little bit more like girl friendly or child friendly, you know, because this was meant to attract girls to the show a little bit more. But that was one of the good things.
It also shows the equal.
Yeah, it's an equal balance.
You're right. It is.
That's why when I rented this as a kid, I didn't feel ashamed that I'm renting a show that was meant for girls because I'm like,
it never felt like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She-Ra just always was a kick-ass hero, no matter what. You never looked at her and think, oh, this is a girl. It's like, she's a kick-ass hero. And you didn't never look at her as a kid in any kind of sexualized manner, as much as people want to say that's how we did it back then. No, it's like He-Man and
you know, assholes with agendas and stuff like that, you know.
And it shows, like I said, the other thing is, look at how equal He-Man and She-Ra are. They complement each other. It's not like they're trying to one-up each other, or He-Man puts her down, or she puts He-Man down. They're both there just to save the day and to showcase their talents, their powers of how they can. And it's teamwork, too. That's what's great. While one does one, somebody does another thing. It's again, a perfect balance to a great episode.
Now, let me tell you, as they crash into the Fright Zone here, as a child, from that moment until we get to this, even though it's very brief, but as a child, this was like the defining moment of like Grizzlord and Leech, especially Grizzlord. This sequence here of like, you know, 4 squad is ready. We're going to go attack He-Man and She-Ra. Oh my God, I could not wait to see this action sequence. It was exhilarating to see this fight. And yes, it's only a few seconds, but as a child, it was everything to me. Just to anybody that would take on these guys hand to hand like they do here in a moment, it was, they're strong.
It makes you anxious. And it does. Yeah. Like I said, it gets you anxious because, wow, he's got She-Ra and Grizzlord has got He-Man. Like, oh, wow, it's kind of holding there. What the hell is going to go on? And yes, we know that the good guys are going to have their, of course, you know, comeuppance and take care of business. But I did like that, just seeing them. We got you. It's like, but
and using brute strength, that, you know, they did struggle a bit, but obviously, you know, I just would. Oh my God, it was just still to this day when I watch this, I get all pumped and excited. And the Grizzle just calls him, you know, muscle man, like you know, big deal. I love it. Here comes Catra.
The special one. Remember, this is the one that's just, she's so great and she's awesome when she turns into this, and Mantenna sucks. And what happens again? Every time she turns into the Panther form, she's like, let me get this one. And simple enough. That's
she's
why
done.
We've seen her standing by the chandelier.
She didn't even
there
move.
You go. Okay, there went. I'm going to do it. I'm going to find it. One or two episodes where she at least
Catra fans,
pinned.
If you like her because you like her, that's fine. But don't try and argue that, you know, that she's, you know, portrayed as like one of the most competent villains.
No, and it's unfortunate, but that she always just
she
never accomplishes anything in that damn Panther. Yeah, I think she tackled Bo one time or pinned him or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
Secret
that's
of the
it.
Sword. Yeah.
Yeah, every other time it's some nonsense. But now they're looking for Orko. They got Madame Raz free. And she knows where Orko is and what's going on. So at least Madame Raz gets to do her thing of helping.
I remember as a kid, I was like, why can't Madame Raz come along? You know, I just one of those things as a child I'm watching, like, well, she's cool. Let her come.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
They have to highlight He-Man and She-Ra together. They got to be doing their things. But at least she gets to do something.
Yeah. I just, because I always find her and Orko so likable as a kid. Like, there were people that you would want to, you know, as a child, want to hang out with, you know. And her and Orko both, and Broom, I just thought I'd love to hang out with them. But
Yep,
and here we are getting ready to come up with just a second our first shot of Mantisaur.
Yeah, and I remember that now as a kid, since he was never name dropped in this episode as Mantisaur, I just remember I thought, oh, he's kind of like a big kind of like green insect. And I remember having my Mantisaur, and then eventually I looked at him and was like, are they supposed to be the same thing? And I was like, don't get me wrong, I love this look, and I'll admit this would be one cool ass thing to have in figure form. But and it would, but I just remembered my toy Mantisaur thinking, if that's supposed to be him, I wish I would have had the toy one in there. But it's still a cool ass different looking one. So yeah, maybe they'll get on that. Maybe we'll see this in figure form someday. And there we go. Need a lift? Bam. Get him on that damn rocket. While He-Man's taking care of the rocket, and now it's time She-Ra to take care of what's going on with Hordak here, Mantisaur, and
yeah, this is just a great sequence that Hordak thinks he's won, and Horde troopers and lifts up the damn floor. You know, that's how much of a badass She-Ra is. Yeah,
that metal floor reflects it back, but I love this spell thing, which this was something somebody last year wanted me to make, and I thought, well, maybe I don't want it to be made, but you're going to see in a second. This was always freaky to me, see what happens to poor Shadow
I thought
Weaver.
It was kind of creepy, too, as a kid.
Yeah. Using that spell on She-Ra, She-Ra's going to use her breath, blow that stuff right back, and make a very frightening-looking Shadow Weaver here. This thing, that's a scary little thing.
Yeah. And a pissed-off pig.
A pissed-off pig. But now, yes, here we go. Where I think we're going to finally get to see.
This is a cool fight with Mantisaur and Hordak. It's cool. It's beautifully animated with the snapping the claws. Very very cool.
Yep, and got its claw on She-Ra for a second, like oh shoot, but we know that's not
going to just boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
Bam, there you go.
So many great shots. Hordak has a lot of great facial expressions in this episode.
Yep.
From the laughing
both in that slimy pit.
Yeah.
Yep. To his shocked looks and everything. Yeah, definitely.
It's great. Like Larry did a great job of whoever storyboarded it. Because there's so many great guys, great talent working on the She-Ra show when it was greenlit. So there's a lot of attention and care. And you see He-Man here on the rocket. A lot of more details in his anatomy, like his muscles a little bit more defined, even more so.
Yep. We get that familiar punch, but you're right. The other shots, yes, quite different. Yeah, because if he would have went to outer spaces, his ass would have blacked out.
Yeah,
definitely.
And they make a point. He says, "Look, I can't. I won't be able to breathe." Whereas, like we see in the Christmas special, all bets are off. There are no rules in the Christmas special, so when you watch it, just accept that before you watch it.
And Assault on the Hive, where they're in outer space and with the meteors. Yes. Right. So it's like, hey, you said this, but this happened, but that's all right.
Yeah, just a
so there's the Horde Trooper. Yeah, Horde Trooper got his ass out of there. He took his little escape pod.
I've always felt bad for crying. Orko. Even though I knew he was going to get saved, it was still sad to see Orko crying. I was like, oh man, this is depressing.
Yep. And here comes He-Man's boom, familiar punch. And that's why I always love She-Ra's kick. It's like He-Man had the punch, She-Ra had the kick. I liked it that it didn't just have her doing her version of a punch. That's why I like that her iconic thing was that spin kick.
Yeah, using those beautiful legs of hers to kick some ass.
Yep, kicking somebody, kicking a wall, whatever she had to do. But yeah, He-Man's basically telling him, jump, get out of here. So basically just float out of here, and He-Man he'll have to take his jump.
Yeah, this was a fun sequence.
And I liked it. Again, shows the power of She-Ra. We always like seeing her pick up, doing some crazy feat of strength, and of course saving the day for her brother. That's that pole busted. He's falling down, but she's gonna save him.
Yeah. In her show, like He-Man's here, but she gets the final feat of strength, catching her brother by throwing a Horde hay transport. But it just shows you that even though He-Man's here, She-Ra's here. It's her show. She's not going to be downplayed because the man's here.
Right. And also done without belittling one or the other.
That's how you do it. That's how you write She-Ra. And of course, this made me insanely jealous of Orko as a kid. Oh, I want to kiss She-Ra so bad.
Yeah, this was it. Yeah. Nice introduction. He comments her of being really gorgeous and saying that, gets a kiss, and oh boy, there goes the hat.
God, this just drove me nuts as a kid. I thought he's so
good.
lucky.
Yeah, would have been something.
Yeah, I am thankful though that again we never got to air it, but we did get to talk to the voice, and
Melindy Britt, yeah,
Melindy
we
Britt
gotta.
there and tell her that I had she was so just she still sounds so
that
hot
was
and
just.
elegant.
I wish that somehow we. It sucks that was a lost episode because that was a telephone one when using Hangouts or Skype or however it worked, and it just something didn't work. I'm hoping that maybe I'll try to contact her and see if she'd like to come back to the show, do another one, and hope. And obviously, now that we do Hangouts like this, it won't get erased because boy, she is a sweetheart and just amazing to talk to. Just so much love, you could feel it within her heart. The way she was speaking about how she worked on the cartoon, her interaction with fans, what the fans meant to her and every story they had. It's just, yeah, just such a great lady. So we're going to try to get her back on.
But my voice came through terrible. I was so mad when I found out the dog had me switch using my desktop instead of my phone at the time, and my voice came through horrible. Oh my god! And
wow.
it was just
I can't remember.
It was completely botched, but she heard everything we said, and she was so sweet. And I was like, we're listening to Sheila talk to us right now, man. This is incredible.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I never thought. I mean, who'd have think in your life you'd be speaking with somebody that worked on the cartoon that you just loved something that much? It's like talk about starstruck. That's what that kind of was.
Yeah, and I remember I contacted her agent after I told her about we lost the episode. She said, "Well, contact us in about another month, and we'll try and reschedule." And of course, we never did. It was just kind of like it almost felt like the wind was taken out of the sails when you get excited. You have it done. We got to do it again. It's just kind of felt like it loses its magic, Even though I'm thankful, I got to experience it with Joe. It was a short one because we were told we had to keep it short. However, for such a short interview,
she went along with us.
Yeah,
she went a little bit. Remember, that's what I like. Yeah, every time we usually would have a guest of somebody that's worked on the show or the cartoon or a movie. Usually there's some kind of time. They figure, well, maybe have this time, X amount of time. But once we start talking with them and they just feel the excitement that we have and just, the interaction, they usually stay a lot longer and they enjoy and want to come back. So maybe April, May, we'll see if we can contact her and hopefully get something going. No promises, but if it does happen, that would be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people I would love to talk to, but some of them, it's really hard. I mean, to this day, I still would love to talk to Larry DiTillio. I mean, I wouldn't know where to begin with the man, but it's impossible to contact some of these people. Some of them don't have contact information, or if they do, it's not. Like I'm sure James probably knows it. Like how John Adkin, I don't know, he's gotten in contact with a lot of the cast from the movie and stuff like that too. But I mean, there's a lot of people that worked on on He-Man some form or fashion that I would love for us to have on the podcast, but it's impossible to get some of these people. If it wasn't for Danielle, we wouldn't have got Robbie London on the podcast. So it's a hard thing to do.
And she's a sweetheart for hooking us up with stuff too. Another great person that we're going to have back on the show too.
We got to have her and James back on the podcast because got to do another commentary with James Heatok on the podcast.
Oh, most definitely. And I was going to say, before we pass to the questions, because first, if you have any suggestions, anything, do that. But I'll say to the chat room, if you have any questions, comments, anything you want us to discuss from the cartoons, toys, mini comics, whatever it is, put it up here. We'll answer it. And really quick, JSP said he'll be seeing Melindy Britt in 2 weeks. She'll be at the TF Con, March 15th to the 17th. I'm assuming that means Transformers. And that sounds stupid. I don't know what a TF Con is.
I always heard of BotCon, which I always knew that was like the big Transformers, but I don't know if that's like an old version of the Transformers. I have no idea. There's so many. I mean, hell, Larry Houston was at like something called ToyCon, this past week, where Peter Cullen and Frank Welker were there doing photo ops and stuff. So
we have nothing around here. I think we're gonna have something called the Fantastic Con that comes at the end of March, beginning of April. Like I said, it's slowly growing here where I live.
Come up and take pictures with Joe. He'll take Play-Doh and customize
he wouldn't have it in his front yard though. He wouldn't want people to know where he lives.
No. He would just say, "I don't live here. I've rented this house for the convention. I got to trust people."
Well, why not be at the Parts Unknown McDonald's?
I guess he could. Yeah, he could show up and entertain the kids and stuff like that at a McDonald's birthday party. Or go out to the Playland.
Con in the world, boy.
Does your McDonald's have a Playland?
No, I don't even know what that is, to be honest. That sounds
What do you
stupid.
mean?
But
It's the big
no,
playground outside your McDonald's.
Wow, that would have been amazing. We never had that. Wow, I didn't know this. No, really, didn't know anything about that. But that
What
sounds
about your
cool.
Burger King? Does
I
your
would.
Burger King have a playland, like a ball pit and the slide and stuff?
Are you just making this up? Or are you serious?
No. Not all McDonald's, and some were even more elaborate. But they used to have playgrounds called playlands on the sides of McDonald's that were pretty elaborate playgrounds for kids. And Burger King has some. Chick-fil-A has some now too.
Jesus.
And I mean, we're talking like if you do a Google search for McDonald playlands in the 80s, they were really elaborate playgrounds for kids to play around with. Like the Burger King in Radford, that's no longer here. That's down the road from where me and Nathan live. Used to have a nice little spin slide out in this gravel playground with a little rocking accessories and stuff. It was a blast to go.
I'm just thinking about all those times that I played in the ball pits, and I'm just like, man, I wonder how many like diseases I could have gotten.
Yeah.
Damn, those things are nasty.
Yeah.
Quick question.
They were a blast.
Well, I just want to see, because I'm trying to compare of just by chance, do any of your restaurants have plate glass windows to where in case somebody would shoot, they wouldn't get shot if they worked it back there? Because I'm just saying.
No.
Ghetto Amato here.
No, I'm just saying that's how a lot of the restaurants I go to have it. And you have to put the money in a thing, and it spins it around. So they take the money and they spin your change back around.
Joe lives in the Robocop universe.
It's like that Walmart. No. They have to barricade up the $5 DVDs. You know.
Yeah. So we never had a playground. You ain't gonna see it in our places. But first JSP did say that it's a Transformers convention in Canada. So okay, all right. Well, thank you for that, James. And Grimbot said, get James to talk about Masters of Space and pre-Secret of the Sword movie ideas. Well, if we have him on, and if he's willing to divulge any information, we'll definitely ask him on that stuff. But we could do that.
Yeah.
Emotional has a question, which I think it's always stemming from especially Nathan and Tyler said, question for Joe: would you ever make a Coupon King custom figure?
Yes.
That is a yes. I mean,
we kind of want to do a thing where you guys submit ideas somewhere, and then we take that, and Joe makes a figure, and here's the Coupon King.
Someday I could try the Coupon King. So thank you for that.
Well, see, he ain't gonna do it for free now. You guys got to be able to fork over the cash.
Like free? Shoot, I don't understand what free is unless I'm getting something free. If it's me giving away something free, something I've never done.
Yeah, you can send all the free stuff you want to Joe, but when if you want something from Joe, you better be exchanging something green in return.
Right, definitely. Adam Gabbard said, Joe, Tyler, and Nathan, what other toys do you like today from the past till now besides the He-Man and She-Ra toys that we all love today? I don't know if he's asking if what we liked from the past that they still make today or things they make now. I mean, I know as for me, only things I collect are Friday the 13th. I don't collect anything else, but I know that Nathan and Tyler, I know that there's supposed to be all the new Ninja Turtle figures that you guys were talking about that Target has and other places or something.
Boom, go to Target. These guys are out. This is the only one that I've been able to find so far, but they got the rest. If you look there, if that'll zoom in a little bit better. Focus on that. Come on. How
much are those bad boys?
Come on. Oh man, these are $52. Because you are getting you are getting two NECA figures, and they usually charge about $25, $27 a piece. So it makes sense, but go to your Targets. If you find them as some extra ones, hit me up. Feel free to mail me the rest. I will pay you somehow.
And you can send them to me for free. You know
don't. You don't want this. See, I will actually pay you for it. He just wants free stuff.
I'm not Joe.
Right. What about you, Tyler? Yeah, I am. What about you, Tyler? What do you collect? Anything you collect besides Masters?
If I had, money's been a little bit better, but so it allows me to try and collect a little bit more. Like I've been, chasing, current NECA Turtle stuff and the Diamond Selects Real Ghostbusters. I about lost my mind when I saw that this finally had come out. But I still, if I come across them, I still have to collect Thundercats, Bionic 6, because I'm sporting it right here. Brave Stars, Silverhawks, G.I. Joe, Transformers. Pretty much all the toy lines of the A's, they will always catch my interest from Sectars, Black Star, all that stuff.
Sectars.
Supernaturals, Dino Riders, a lot of those kick-ass lines. But I mean, pretty much all the 80s stuff. You're always going to grab my attention. Anything from the 80s toy lines, some 90s, but current stuff. It's He-Man, NECA stuff on occasion. It's just I'm very choosy. Like Turtles. Turtles is another one. Classic Turtles. That's something I like to collect when I can too. So it's just lack of space, making sure you have money to comfortably spend, and things like that too. But I have high ambitions and just running out of room and always making sure you got money to do it. But those are just name drop some.
Oh, freaking awesome! And I do understand the lack of space and lack of money, so I know where you're coming from there.
Yeah, I'm pretty much certain I'm not getting Snake Mountain because I just don't want to pay $600 just to get something I got to store and not display. Like it just kind of seems pointless, and I'm don't need it.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure Nathan will probably keep an eye out to finish Eternia for you. But all right,
maybe we'll see.
Maybe. Delva said, I hope he's joking because I think I've been good. He said, "Joe, are you aware that you showed 3/4 of your face tonight?" I don't know if my mask has moved at times.
Not. He's trying to steal my material by saying your face showed. Oh my God! You flipped over everything and
that had me freaking out that week. Damn it! You had me freaked because my mirror was shifted and everything, and I was like, what the hell happened? I started reaching for my mask. I didn't know what the hell happened. I was like, okay, well, that's there. But you did have me freaked that week, so thank you for that, Tyler, and thanks for that, Delvis.
I have an impression I have to do, apparently.
All right, we'll get to that. Who Dat Whale says, no question, but wanted to say, hope you're all doing good, and life's been good to you. Well, I hope the same to you too, Who Dat Whale. We appreciate that.
It'd be better if I didn't have to go to my job tomorrow. If I could get paid to do this, that would be great.
Yep.
So and find Will Smith. He's the genie now. That looks bad, by the way.
God. And it shows in the chat how I'm trying to catch up to what we said earlier because Who Dat Whale said, yes, Tyler, in Rhode Island, our McDonald's had Playlands. It was huge. So Who Dat Whale had that. Kevin Sharp said Burger King in Dublin, I think, still has one, Tyler.
They still do.
Yes.
Still do. It says Burger King in Christiansburg. They got a ball pit, probably with skid marks and stinky socks left in the.
Oh God. Tyler? Do you remember? There was maybe it was just more local to where I was as a kid, but there was a thing. It's like, oh, we found a needle in one of the ball pits, and they had to like shut it down and like investigate and everything. And not too long after that, the ball pit was gone. They like put something else there. I was like,
God, no, yeah, nothing like that.
Oh, ball pits! Oh my, I can't believe I got in those things as a kid. Just thinking about it now just makes me.
I just would always like, oh, that kid stinks. I got to stay the hell away from him. But you're not gonna take away my fun from jumping into that plastic ball pit, sliding down the slide, running back around, jumping back in.
I remember the Burger King one. The Burger King one had like that little little goal too that you could like shoot the balls towards. Yeah.
That was it was a blast to do. But if some stinky kid, his parents didn't decide to give him a bath, lumbers in and hey guys, what's cooking? And you have like this brown cloud surrounding this kid because his parents don't wash him.
And you're like, I'm gonna stay away from him, but I'm gonna. He went over there. I can roll around in all these other balls that he touched.
Well, I wasn't gonna become like a neurotic hysteric, and rolling my time while I drink my rainbow flavored soda from the fact where I put in Coke and Mellow Yellow and Sprite and all.
Oh, you were one of those weirdos, huh?
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
God, I just seen. What did I see today? I made some kind of comment. I thought somebody posted one of those GIFs, and it showed Mr. Rogers taking a piece of American cheese and wrapping it in a banana, eating it. And I was like, what the hell is this about? I thought that somebody made it up. So
you stole that idea, didn't you, Joe?
Well, what's that?
That you saw that and you were inspired. You're like, I'm gonna start wrapping cheese around my banana too.
I know I eat a lot of weird stuff, but I was like, okay, let me go to YouTube and see if there's clips. I didn't know if this was something taken out of context, but sure enough, there was an episode of Mr. Rogers, and it just showed the ending where he gets a message from, I don't know, the chef of the show or whatever, and they said, here's a nice snack to try. Peel back a banana, wrap American cheese on it, and eat it. And He ate that. I was like, oh my God, how is he not vomiting? He made it look like, oh, it's supposed to be the most delicious thing in the world. But I eat shit out of dumpsters, so who am I to talk? So, but it did look gross. So, I don't know if either of you eaten those, but
what if Joe's like Yoda, and Empire Strikes, he's like going through the and then he finds like a toy. Goes,
Yeah,
and Joe's digging around like on his hands and knees, and I will. You know what? Here's a fun Photoshop. I want to see someone Photoshop Joe hanging out of a trash can, Oscar the Grouch just looking at him.
like I'm bad, exactly.
Yeah, or like what the hell are you doing in my neighborhood, and Joe's catching ball. It's free or something like that. I just figured or nothing. No, yeah, better yet. Don't try and be funny and cute. Just someone Photoshop, Joe hanging out of a trash can like this, right next to Oscar Grouch, just staring at him. I think that would be a great visual. It'd make a great T-shirt, on Redbubble or something like that. But no goofy ass lame caption or slogan or something like that. Welcome to my hood or some shit like that. Just an image.
Come on, you were supposed to say God skills. That is your main go-to on any of these T-shirts.
Yeah.
Speaking of packages and things like that, Joe, you did have something to open up, correct?
Oh yeah. You haven't opened it yet. It's from Eric Amon. He said he was sending something. I have no clue it was. So I'm going to slice it open. I'm not going to show his address because I definitely don't want to make any kind of mistakes of showing addresses.
Yeah. I don't want to get hit up the next day and be like, hey, can you blur all this? Oh, yeah, I need to go back and do that now, huh?
And because that's the thing. Of course, there's people that when I do customs with know my address, but it was like Grimbot mentioned. A couple other people said, Joe, did you realize you were showing your address on the show that one week? And then I was also showing the person who sent me the item.
And I wasn't paying any attention to that.
Ashadina.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize, like, oh my God. So he said he was going to send something, and I said, sure. So I'm trying to be careful. Sorry. Let's see.
It's another tablet.
Got a lot of bubble. It's that's heavy. Hold on, let me set it down. Looks like there's something else in there, but that's heavy. Out of bubble. It's protected very well, and oh, that's cool. Oh, it's Beyond Retro drinking glass.
Yeah,
that's pretty damn cool, Eric. I appreciate it. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I got one of those as well, and I'm like,
yeah, me too.
Now I have my go-to glass for when I do my drunk aid streams.
Yeah, if you do one tonight, you can use it. But thanks, Eric. That's that is heavy. Let me set that down. Thanks a lot, man.
Boom. There we go. Got mine.
Let me see. And there's bubble. It's soft. Well, obviously it feels like it's a T-shirt.
That's a book.
It's a hamster.
Yeah.
It's already dead.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. He took the banner logo where Dell did that art that I colored in and put it for the Fans of Power logo made on a shirt. So thanks a lot, man. That's cool. I like that. That's kind of a neat it's a different material, like that iron-on that's on there, or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's really profound. I think I'd be afraid to wear this because then if I put it in the washer, I think it's going to just get destroyed.
Yeah, it might chip away at it, yeah.
Yeah, I might try to find a way to protect. But Eric, thanks a lot, man. Again, you didn't have to do that, and I do appreciate that. That's really cool. So thanks, Eric, man. That means a lot. Like I said, everybody's so goddamn cool when they do stuff like that. Things you wouldn't even expect.
Is there not a third item in there?
Oh, hold on. No, I think there's a lot of bubble, unless I missed something. Hold on.
I feel like there could be a third item in there.
Well, hold on. There's bubble. And there's no, just bubble.
Well, screw you, Joe. Eric Amon also sent in a pony that's sitting back there. You can't see it because of the desk. But he's like, I was in GameStop and I saw this and I thought about you. I was like, all right.
I forgot you do like collecting.
Another one for Emily's collection. So there we go.
Just remember, everybody who's new to the channel and everything, Nathan loves My Little Ponies. So if you want to send anything to him, we can get you the
Hey, I mean, whatever. Bolsters her collection. That's fine with me.
He keeps saying her, but it's his. But but yeah, thanks for that, Eric. Appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eric.
Thanks.
Okay.
That thing that I needed to do, I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Do it.
This is
I was
for
just
Tyler.
gonna say you gotta.
This is for Tyler to guess. Your favorite blockhead said this would only be funny if I did the voice and did the face. I'm gonna try as best I can. This is probably gonna be terrible. It would be easier to do if I could just, you know how Tyler, when we were in the mall and I would just like do something random.
Yeah.
And you're like, how'd you do that? I'm like, I don't know. It just happened. I felt it. All right. Flash sale, $6.50 marked out for 10.
Oh yeah, liar, liar. I thought you were gonna do like your Vince McMahon voice or something like that.
No. He wanted me to give that a shot, so I tried it.
Oh,
was that when he got that item for his secretary or the lady that worked
he
for
got
him?
this
Where he
frame
gives
at
it. Oh yeah,
Tiffany's. Yeah.
I remember. That was pretty good. All right. Let me see. Oh, Zentron had a quote. That's not what we were taught. He said, "Look out for number 1. That's Daddy's golden rule. He always ends up with the gold." Why should I know that? I don't know it, but it sounds so damn familiar. Nathan, Tyler, does that sound familiar at all?
He never said his name familiar.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with It Takes Two with the Olsen twins and Steve Guttenberg.
Well, I'll say double boiling trouble with the Olsen twins.
Oh God. Yeah, we'll see that later if he's gonna put the quote at the bottom. Vedmon said, "What about sexy ladies of the '80s, Tyler?" I don't know if he's asking you some of the sexy ladies that you remember from the '80s.
Oh God, where do
that
I
kind of
start?
rhyme? Ladies from the '80s. Yeah.
I mean, Kim Basinger, Heather Locklear, and Kathy Ireland, and Cindy Crawford, and Vanna White when she got started, and she was in Playboy, and Vanessa Williams, and oh God, you really would have to like break it down. But like Chelsea Fields who plays Tila. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, I have a Vanity.
Yes.
Yeah, God.
I was always kind of fond of Ali Sheedy, honestly. Ali Sheedy in War Games was always
really
cute to me. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, Joe.
No,
it's no Double Mint twins from Friday the 13th Part 4.
Yeah, God, they were hot, man. And Leah Thompson from Howard the Duck.
Yes, Leah Thompson. God. Leah Thompson's another one. Yeah.
Jeez.
All the right moves. Look that one up.
Yeah, she's hot in that too. Man, I feel like I really feel like I could really just dig deep into that. That's a heavy discussion because God, there was what's her name? Who played Kamiko in Karate Kid Part 2? Well, she was a really hot Asian girl, really cute.
Yes.
And let's see.
I like Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates.
Yeah,
Phoebe Cates is hot. Yeah, and I like Sigourney Weaver in the '80s too when she was in both Ghostbusters films. I thought she was super hot.
Yeah. Oh man, Phoebe Cates and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That was a good gracious. And
Kim Cattrall Jennifer Jason Leigh in Fast Times was also very.
Oh
cute.
yeah, good gracious. Yeah. And Kim Cattrall in Porky's. Yeah, she had her moments.
Kelly Preston in Twins. Oh my God. Jeez, when Arnold gets in the car and you see that beautiful tan legs and that big smile, like I'm just like, okay, I'm done. You know?
We got to stop because I think we would be going way too long on this.
Man. I had such a crush on Leah Thompson and Kelly Preston from Howard the Duck and Twins as a kid. Oh man!
All right.
I think we need to move on with that. We're getting the sound effects and everything now.
Man. I was so jealous of Howard the Duck getting to lay in bed with like almost a very
scantily clad.
Yeah, Leah Thompson like giving a kiss on his duck. Oh, my God, man, that's so hot. Like I didn't think
JSP said that blonde. I was gonna say JSP said that blonde girl from the Monster Squad. Yeah. I don't know her name, but hot. Sure,
and,
sure.
The pregnant girl from Friday the 13th Part 3. The girl that got stabbed in the neck. I always thought she was super hot.
Vera.
I like the one that got the harpoon in the eye. I always thought she was.
She was all three of the girls in Friday Part 3 were really hot. Yeah. And Vera
got
13th Part 4. All the females in that except for the fat girl on the hitchhiker. She got killed. She wasn't hot, but
eating the banana. But Vera
hot too.
Yeah, like you said, Vera got shot in the eye with the harpoon when Jason had his iconic mask for the first time, and Chris was hot and all. Oh God. We could probably run through all the Friday 13th.
I'm gonna throw Kurt Russell from The Thing. He was pretty hot.
Okay, Deborah Voorhees.
Especially when it has a sombrero on.
Yeah.
And I was going to say Deborah Voorhees from Friday the 13th Part 5. That's when she was, remember, out there kind of like just bathing after they got done doing whatever she had to do. And then, of course, imposter Jason took the shears to her eyes. But that was a long shot. All right, we got to move on.
Tyler. No, Zentron's quote was from Superman 4.
Well, I didn't hear.
Was it?
What? Well, say the quote again. I didn't recognize that quote at all.
It says it's by Lacey.
Here's the quote. He said the quote was, That's not what we were taught. Look out for number 1. That's Daddy's golden rule. He always ends up with the gold. Was that what Lex Luthor said or something? I don't know.
I didn't pay attention to the quote because most times he's always quoting something from something I've ever even
He
seen.
picked something that you like.
Yeah, and I tuned it out. And yes, that is a quote from Superman 4. Because that's what he does. He always picks something that is Time Bandits. It's always Time Bandits. Or Friday the 13th Part 5 or something like that. So yes, that is from Superman 4. Mario Hemingway says that, yes. So yes, that's my fault for not catching that because he's always quoting something like, I don't know what that is. I've never seen that before. Quote something I know.
And he did, and you still got it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get a quote. Yeah, I don't get many quotes in general, even from movies I love, so there's no way I would have been able to get Superman 4 at all. So, but I think we
What are you trying to say
basically
there, Joe?
That I suck at quotes.
No,
there was no way if I suck.
Slam Superman 4. I think that's what you were trying to do.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. That was a fantastic movie. I love Superman 4.
Full of shit.
I'll probably watch it. Yeah, you're right. But okay, well, let me say for everybody that's new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, ring that bell down there so you can always get notified when we go live of any new content. And I say it all the time, but we love having you here. It's always a blast. And next week, we'll have Kevin Sharp here. He's going to debut some new art. We can see what else we can do with him. It's going to be great having him here. So you guys
have questions lined up for Kevin. If you want to
pick his brain.
Yeah, pick his brain because he's worked on He-Man and the comic books. He's worked on G.I. Joe. He's worked on X-Men, various other things. So dig him up. Look up his artwork and research him. Have some stuff to ask him, and we'll probably talk with him.
Yeah, because keep the things in mind that when he's going to be on, and I'm sure he'll be given all the contact information. Because if you want to have something commissioned, you definitely be able to contact him. This is the guy that'll give you some really great, amazing pieces. So, especially if you want to turn yourself into somebody, because Tyler's done that, multiple times where he's become somebody. So you can become anybody you want, or you can just have yourself just be put in there as a unique character. Not Tyler though. Tyler's got to have something with a slight twist.
I got to be like the main focus in my illustrations. Like I got to be like the Hulk Hogan. Like Tyler must pose. So I got to be going over in all of them. I have put myself in danger in a lot of these though, so it's not like I'm standing defiantly over the villains or something like that. Not in all of them.
And can I give something to the credit with what I've seen with a lot of Kevin's work? I know that he'll have pictures of single characters by themselves, but when people are in action, usually it looks dynamic. Don't get me wrong with what I'm saying here, but when I see art in the past, it seems like they're always engaging in amazing battles and like there's eye contact and stuff that makes sense compared to sometimes with art nowadays when you'll see these, posters that they're selling of new, He-Man designs. It's like, but they look like they're posing for a high school photo or they're looking off in the distance. It's like, what is happening in this photo? It doesn't look there's any life or emotion, but Kevin brings that to his pieces. He knows what it's like, what he felt, all the stuff that he grew up with. He still has that feeling. That's when you have an artist with passion and love that can put that kind of emotion and stuff into a piece. He does that. So you don't feel like you're just getting a lifeless standing here pose of something. Even characters where he is standing by themselves, they feel alive. Yeah. So Kevin, you're great shit. So
he brings a lot of intensity. And he has drawn Nuclear Man also. So if Zentron has not seen his Nuclear Man, he needs to check that Nuclear Man out. Hell, I was thinking about I'd have myself done as Nuclear Man. How badass would that be?
Oh God!
Yeah.
We better end this now. We might have to end it now though, because we'll be here all day talking about that. But it's been great. It's been amazing having you guys, and hope you again join us next week. So until next time, have a powerful day.
I'll take my coat back, asshole.
Say it one more time.
This one.
Once again, I'm going to go with It Takes Two with Olsen Twins and Steve Gutenberg.
You lazy
no, bastard. Could you say the quote one more time for me?
I'll take my coat back, asshole.
You just called me a lazy bastard.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. I'm going to have to see if somebody can pop this in the chat room. We'll give it 30 seconds. I'll take my coat back, asshole. I'm stumped. And I'm about 20 more, about 15 now seconds. I'm waiting to see if somebody in the chat room gets it.
Yeah, I probably should have gotten that one.
Zen Brown said, grumpy old men?
Yep. You got it.
Huh? Yep, he got it. No. Kurt Russell, Escape from L.A.
Ah, okay.
I think I've seen that once. What's that? It's always that with Joe. I saw it
it's true.
somewhere. and I think I was, walking through a Kmart.
It was on. They kept showing it on a
How
loop
is it
every time you go to
can claim that you've seen so much stuff, but anything that me and Nathan said, it was on somewhere in the background at my cousin Kendall's house, and I had the runs, and I just kind of heard some of it in the background, and then I fell asleep, and I woke up.
Isn't
in the
it
car,
sad?
And the tank was full, and I never found out who did it. Like, what the hell does
It's
that have
so
to do
sad,
with
but it's true.
It's
so true.
all the movies are his King of the Ring 2001s.
Yeah.
God. Man, I'm old. All right. Yeah, Fed Mom, I do need to watch more movies, definitely, but
He needs to watch Superman
I'm
4
sitting-
again. That's what he needs to watch.
Sweet Jesus.
I will say
See you
this.
guys.
Like, I know we're taking off, but I'd like to know if he's a legitimate fan of Superman 4. We'll find out
Me?
next week. Not you.
Oh,
We all know what you think.
Kevin. Okay, yeah, we'll see if Kevin Sharp really likes it. I think he might, but I guess we'll find out.
I
But,
wasn't talking about. I was talking about Zentron.
Oh, Zentron. Oh, God. Yeah, I guess we'll find out. I don't even know what's happening.
Because I think Kevin has respect for Superman 4.
I mean,
Oh,
he
God.
won't if he puts your ugly mug on Nuclear Man's.
No, I've already
Buddy.
talked to him about doing that before.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go puke now. See you guys next time.
See ya.